Got a call, or got a message last night actually from a taxi driver, a source of mine, who got in touch about some posters that have gone up in the taxi paddock, as they call it, at Perth Airport, where the cabbies line up when they're waiting to pick up passengers. The posters have gone up from the Transport Workers Union, and they are urging taxi drivers to rally on April the 21st. Want to know a bit more about it? Joining us is Tim Dawson, the State Secretary of the Transport Workers Union, to tell us more. G'day, Tim.
Yeah, young Gareth.
Good, mate. Thanks for your time this morning. What's this rally all about?
Oh, mate, look, the main issue at hand is Uber. The rally is mainly about that and taxi driver safety. I mean, as you're aware, continually taxi drivers are attacked and abused by customers, and we would like to see the government do something about that. And also Uber. I mean, it's it's an illegal taxi service that people are providing, and the government should be standing up and doing something about it.
The State Transport Minister Dean Nalder 6 months ago, when Uber launched its UberX service, effectively called them out and said they weren't a legal service, yet nothing's really happened in terms of the government's enforcement effort. Certainly I think some Uber drivers have been asked to provide information about their activities to the Department of Transport, but there's been no prosecutions or charges yet. Is that one of the issues that you're calling for the government to take further action on?
Well, it is. I mean, it's illegal, Gareth, and, government needs to do something about it, not sit on their hands. People, I mean, there's been some articles written about, some conflicts of interest with people within the Liberal Party, and, the question needs to be asked to the Premier, is this one of the reasons that they're not, policing it?
So I think what you're referring to there is a former government staffer left that job to take a job with Uber. Is that what you're referring to there?
Yeah, it is. It is. My understanding is he is still part of some of the Liberal parties. The party itself's policy making. It's quite questionable.
Sure. 922 118 882 is the number. I know lots of taxi drivers listen to this radio station and this program. Tim, what are the details of the rally? It's on April 21. What time and whereabouts?
They'll be starting out at the domestic airport. You said it, the paddock. Late on in the morning, and heading into Parliament House. They'll have a bit of a convoy to Parliament House. The aim isn't to disrupt traffic any more than needs to be, but it's to show the government that they're not going to accept this anymore. And it's bigger than Uber just cutting the costs and, trying to make a market for themselves. But it's about the safety of passengers out there as well, Gareth. I mean, the passengers that get into these, there's no cameras in them. I mean, do we know that these people have, proper police clearances? There's no training. I mean, they don't have to go through a department the transport's training course. I mean, it's quite questionable about these people that pick up, and in some cases our children get put into these vehicles, pick them up, when they're out having a drink or whatever, and it concerns me of the safety of them.
And yet, Tim, the popularity of Uber amongst the general public, amongst the riding public, is exploding. I don't think there's any doubt about that. It's increasingly gaining a high profile. It's increasingly being used by people. They're increasingly making that choice. So, which suggests that perhaps that patrons aren't too worried about it. Is it the fact that Uber perhaps just has a better customer experience often?
Oh, I wouldn't say that. I mean, we've had. The taxi industry's been around for a long time, and people have had plenty of good experiences as taxi drivers. But if you're going to do a cost cutting exercise to get people to use your service, there's plenty of services over the years that we've had cost cutting and it's fallen over, or it hasn't been the best service because of that. I mean, there's a lot of concerns about there, but Uber's model is to go out there and get a foothold in, and then force governments to change legislation because they've done that. And it's after that what happens can be the concern. While they're doing that. So, let's not be mistaken between some cheap fares and a professional service like the taxi industry.
92211882 is the talkback number. Would love to hear from you if you're a passenger who has made the switch to Uber, or if in fact you're a taxi driver who's feeling the effects. Is there any anecdotal evidence out there amongst cabbies about whether business is up or down as a result of Uber or as a result of anything else? Tim, what can the government actually do about it, though? I mean, what specific action are you calling on the government to take at this rally?
Police it. Police the legislation. We have a regulated transport industry. We have a rail industry. We have the buses and the taxis. They all supplement each other. And that's why it's regulated. So, and that's for a reason. So the government needs to police their own laws. That's all we're asking them to do. Go out there and police their own laws.
Tim, the taxi driver who alerted me to these signs, in the message that he sent me, he actually questioned the TWU's involvement. He wondered whether this was just a membership drive. You're trying to get cabbies signed up to be TWU members. Is there anything to that?
Oh, it'd be terrible when a union was out there trying to sign up members, Gareth. I mean, to be honest, but look, the taxi drivers, we have a number of members within the taxi industry. They've come to us and asked for our help to try and do something about it. So, let's not kid ourselves. We represent our members. We have members in the taxi industry, and that's what we're doing.
Sure. So this rally is going to be on April the 21st. You're going to have, how many cabbies do you think you'll have? I mean, obviously, if cabs are coming off the roads, they're not picking up passengers if they're driving between the airport and the city. What realistically do you think, what sort of turnout do you think you can get?
That's always a good one, in these. But, we had one late last year. We had about 900 or so up there, they tell us. So, we believe that was right. We'd like to look at a turnout similar to that. But, the taxi drivers have come and asked us to do that. So, they know that, not only will they, people may not get picked up, taxi drivers will lose money to do this. So they're serious about it. I mean, in tough economic, times and, every dollar counts for them, that they've come to us and asked us to give them a hand in organising this rally. That's what we've done. So, really, it's up to the taxi drivers themselves to show the government that they're fair income about forcing the government to do something. And look, Gareth, this is only the start of it. The taxi drivers, with the help of the Transport Workers Union, will run a political campaign against this government if they do not do something and police their legislation. We will run a strong political campaign with the help of the taxi drivers against them. So they need to do something about it.
Well, there you have it. Tim Dawson, State Secretary of the Transport Workers Union. Thanks for your time this morning.